Hello everyone, welcome back to another tier list. I haven't done these in a while, so I just thought, why not make one? This time we are doing the Great One tier list. There's currently 8 Great Ones in the game, so it's not a lot, but I thought it would be a fun little video to do so I don't have to spend too much time in it, and I'll just give you my thoughts also. Without further ado, let's start straight up with the Great One Whitetail. Now, the Whitetail has always been one of those Great Ones that I just feel are quite underwhelming. There really isn't any special furs for them. You can get the piebald, and I believe the Mela and the albino on it, but that's just not a very realistic thing to happen. It's the only Great One that can actually have rare furs in it, but it doesn't have anything special to it, right? And the racks just are, for the most part, nothing like crazy to me. So the Whitetail will have to go. I'm gonna have to put it all the way down to D tier. Depending how this goes, it might actually go all the way to F tier. It might just be my least favorite Great One in the whole game. Moving on to Red Deer. Red Deer look very cool. There is one really big flaw, and that is just the lack of variation. There's only one fur, fabled, spotted, and not that many racks. They aren't very different from each other, it's just the sizes. Quite underwhelming, really. They just don't really have a lot of potential for multiple, you know, because they all are basically the same. For that reason, I'm gonna have to give it a C tier, but if they got more furs, more racks, it could easily be bumped up all the way to A or even S tier, but right now C is the most I can give it. Moving on to my favorite Great One in the whole game still, which is the black bear. I've always loved the black bear so much. There's that extra chunk, as I like to call it. The only fur I really don't like as much is the spotted and maybe the spirit. I'm not the biggest fan of the spirit, but it's still way better than the spotted. But anyway, it just looks so good. I can like, it's my dream Great One. My favorite might just be the fabled cream, but also these the glaciers look very good. The chestnut is fucking awesome. I don't know, this is so much cool about the black bear. Even to this day, they are still my favorite. I really wonder why they never made new furs for the whitetail and the red deer. It doesn't really make sense to me, but regardless, the black bear still will stay on top of the whole list. Next, we have the moose. Oh man, the moose. Moose has what the red deer and the whitetail lacked. Now, it has many different furs, it has many different antlers. Moose is just a really solid Great One. My favorite fur for the moose is definitely the fabled spruce. The ashen is also really cool. The spider rack and the big rack are the two best racks for the moose in my opinion. I really don't like the quad paddle, and the typical is just incredibly boring. Only about half of the racks are actually that like good in my opinion. The furs on average are pretty good, but overall, very solid, not bad. Then we have the fallow. Oh boy, the fallow. I really like the fallow. It is very similar to moose in the way that it has many different furs, it has many different racks, so it is a massive improvement from the red deer and the whitetail. I think the fallow, I don't really know if it should go above moose. The fallow is like overall really solid. It has kind of that weird same problem that the black bear has with the racks, where I really like the saw rack and the big typical, but I really don't like the Irish elk or the spoon rack very much. But in the fur variations, the silver might be just my favorite. The hooded is good, the golden is good. I'm not the biggest fan of mocha or painted, but overall, just fallow is just really solid. For the sake of my first Great One being the fallow, I'm gonna have to bump it up. But yeah, just keep in mind these two are basically the same. Now comes one of the weirder Great Ones to me, which is the Great One tar. Now, I really like the tar, but there is one very big flaw that really pains me to see, and that flaw is just how disappointing the horns are. When I want a Great One, I want it to be just pretty over the top in a lot of ways. The furs are pretty cool. There's a couple furs that I really like, but there's just not a lot of horns that feel very special to me in any way. From the furs, the fabled golden and the fabled scars is very good, but everything else just, I don't know. The other furs just look kinda same to me. It's all black and white. I don't know, the tar is a little odd. I still think it's better than the red deer, but moving on to the second to last Great One, which is the grade 1 pheasant. Now, the grade 1 pheasant is, I don't know, it's weird because it feels like it's kind of underwhelming, but it also feels like I'm kind of starting to like it a bit more. I don't really know. When I start to look at the fur variations, there's only a couple I can really pinpoint that feel special. Those two are the citrine and the pearl. This might be what I need to do. Tar in B tier and put the pheasant as the third worst grade 1 in the game. And now we have arrived at the last grade 1, which is the grade 1 red fox. Now, I really like it. I think it might actually be the second best grade 1 in the game. With the black bear is the extra chunk and the great furs, but with the red fox there isn't like extra chunk or anything, but the highlight of them are the incredible fur types. There's just so many incredible ones here. I cannot pinpoint a single one that I just straight up don't like at all. I love the candy cane, the licorice, cherry blossom, peppermint, midnight poppy. They're just so good. This is quite literally the only grade 1 in the game where every single fur looks good. Both predators are in S tier. Now for any final adjustments, I think a very good change would be to put the whitetail in F and the red deer in D. Red deer is still way better than the whitetail, and I think the pheasant is quite a bit better than the red deer, but I think tar is way better than the pheasant. But yeah, that is my grade 1 tier list. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.